Imagine walking into your restaurant, only to find the man who broke you sitting there laughing with the woman he replaced you with. And imagine him snapping his fingers at you, not realizing he's ordering around the very woman who owns every chair, every plate, every paycheck in that room. Now imagine serving him silently while he mocks you, while he brags, while he treats you like the same nobody he once convinced you to believe you were. But the night he walked into her restaurant, he had no idea he was walking straight into the biggest humiliation of his life. And what happened after he handed his credit card to pay for his arrogance is something he will never forget. Before we continue, tell us what time it is where you are and where you're watching from. Subscribe and get in fully, because trust me, you'll want more of these stories. The dinner rush was already pushing the limits of the kitchen when Nora, the floor manager, hurried toward the bar with panic whispering across her face. Camilla Warren was restocking glasses when she noticed her. Nora wasn't the kind to panic. If she looked rattled, something was wrong. "Camilla," she said quietly, "Table 7 just sat down. You need to see this." Camilla wiped her hands, confused. "Is it a VIP? We can adjust seating if they're difficult." "No," Nora said, voice tightening. "It's not that. It's someone you know." Camilla felt a strange chill prick her spine. She followed Nora toward the main dining area, weaving through servers carrying sizzling plates and customers laughing over wine. The ember room glowed the way it always did on a Friday night. Warm light, full tables, soft guitar layered under clinking dishes. It was her world, her creation. But the moment she reached the corner of the room, that calm pride cracked. Sitting at table 7, his arm draped around a woman in a glimmering gold dress, was Leon Warren, her ex-husband, the man who had spent years breaking her confidence, calling her small, calling her unambitious, calling her background noise in other people's lives. Her throat tightened, but she forced herself to breathe. He hadn't seen her yet. The woman leaned close to him, laughing at something he'd said. Camilla recognized the type instantly. Expensive taste, perfect hair, loud confidence. The kind of woman Leon used to compare her to when he wanted to remind her she wasn't enough. Nora whispered, "Do you want me to take the table instead? I can tell them you're unavailable." Camilla straightened. "No, I'll take it." She reached for an apron hanging beside the host's stand, tied it around her waist, and smoothed the front. Her hands were steady. Good. The last thing she wanted was to look shaken, not by him, not anymore. She approached the table with her server's notebook, her steps calm, precise. She set 2 menus down gently. "Good evening. Welcome to the Ember. Room," she said, the voice of a trained professional. "My name is—" Leon looked up. His mouth fell open, then curved into a grin so mocking it practically had its own smell. "Oh my God," he drawled loudly. "Camilla, is that you?" The woman in the gold dress raised a brow. "You know her?" Leon laughed. "Know her? Serena, this is my ex-wife. She used to work as a waitress when we were married. Still at it, I see." Serena's eyes widened with false sympathy. "Oh, wow. Really? Is this what you do now?" She gestured vaguely around, as if the job were a disease. Camilla kept her smile neutral. "Can I start you with something to drink?" Leon leaned back, letting his laughter spread. "Come on, Camilla. Don't pretend you don't remember me, unless you're still mad I left. Which, honestly..." He looked Camilla up and down. "I get it." Her chest tightened for a half-second, but she inhaled slowly and exhaled through her nose. "What would you like to drink?" she asked again, her professionalism unwavering. Leon smirked. Bring us your most expensive bottle of red. Something classy, something you probably can't pronounce. Serena laughed softly. Make sure it's actually good, she added, not cheap stuff. Of course, Camilla said. She turned away before her expression could show anything. She'd handled rude customers before. She'd handled people who underestimated her. But this was different. This was a ghost from a version of herself she had worked years to bury. Back at the bar, Nora whispered, "Do you want me to kick them out? We have the right." Camilla shook her head. No, they're customers like everyone else. Nora hesitated. You sure? He was cruel to you. I know, Camilla said softly, but he's just a table tonight. She picked up the bottle, returned, and poured it smoothly into their glasses. For the next hour, Leon performed for Serena like he was on stage. Camilla, this steak is overcooked. Take it back. It wasn't. Camilla, we need more bread. Faster this time. The breadbasket was still half full. He snapped his fingers, twice, every time she approached. Serena joined him, whispering comments they both thought Camilla couldn't hear. She's cute, like a charity case, cute. Leon, how did you ever put up with her? Camilla kept moving, table to table, order to order, face calm, heart steadying with every step. The Ember Room was her home now, her creation, her risk, her triumph, and neither of them knew it. Near 10 p.m., Leon stretched smugly in his chair, patting his stomach. That was delicious, better than I expected. You did good, Camilla. I mean that. At least you can still serve food properly. Camilla nodded politely. I'm glad you enjoyed everything. I'll bring your bill. She walked to the POS terminal, printed the check, and handed it to Nora. Take it to them, please. Nora's eyebrows lifted as she glanced at the total. Nearly £900. They ordered like royalty. Yes, Camilla said. Let's see how royal they feel now. Nora approached the table with the card machine. Leon barely looked at the bill. Just run it, he said, handing over a sleek black card. Nora inserted it. Declined. Leon frowned. Try it again. Declined. Serena's eyes flickered. Was that the right card? Of course it is, Leon snapped. He pulled out another. Use this one. Declined. His jaw tightened. He pulled out a third card, then a fourth. Declined. Declined. Now people were watching. Serena pressed her hands together nervously. Leon, what's happening? Leon stammered. The machine's broken. It must be. Nora looked toward Camilla and called loudly. Madam, there's an issue here. Camilla removed her apron and walked toward table 7, her steps measured, her expression composed. Leon looked up, still red-faced, still sweating. Finally, good. I need to speak to the manager. The system is faulty. Nora stepped aside. Leon, Camilla said gently, you are speaking to the manager. Silence rippled through the dining room. Leon blinked. What? Serena's jaw dropped. You're the manager? Camilla held his gaze. I'm the owner of the Ember Room. The word owner landed like a stone in a pond, quiet, but unstoppable. Leon's mouth opened. No sound came out. Camilla continued calmly. And your bill is still unpaid. Serena whispered urgently. Leon, I told you to bring the right card. Why didn't you bring the right card? I did, he hissed. They're all good cards. Camilla folded her hands behind her back, her voice steady. As per policy, if a customer cannot pay, they must either contact someone who can come settle the bill, or work to pay it off. Serena recoiled. Work? No, absolutely not. Leon's voice cracked. Camilla, come on. We were married. That's irrelevant, she said. Right now, you're a customer who can't pay. His panic grew. Camilla, please, don't do this. Not in front of everyone." But everyone was already watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to join our community by hitting the subscribe button. Every story we will share is a spark of hope, giving a voice, a future, and a chance to everyone out there that have faced challenges one way or the other over the world. So support us by subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you never miss a story that truly matters. And we will want to hear from you. So drop a comment and tell us where you are watching from and how the story touched you. Together, we are not just watching stories unfold. We are keeping hope of a better tomorrow. Camilla stood calmly beside the table, hands loosely folded, watching Leon unravel like a thread pulled too quickly from a cheap suit. She didn't raise her voice, didn't smirk, didn't show even a flicker of satisfaction. That would have made this about revenge. This was about truth, finally standing in the light. "Leon," she said softly, "you and your guest have two options. Call someone who can pay the bill, or settle it by working." Serena recoiled as if someone had splashed cold water on her. "I'm not touching anything in this place. I'm wearing designer heels." Camilla remained composed. "Then your only remaining choice is to wait for the police. Attempting to leave without payment is theft." A murmur rolled across the dining room. People were pretending not to stare, but they absolutely were. A few whispered to each other, eyebrows raised, utensils paused mid-air. It was a scene no one wanted to miss. Leon looked around, seeing every set of eyes on him. His face flushed a deeper shade of red. His voice cracked. "Camilla, please, you can't do this to me." "You did this to yourself," she said. What's your decision?" He swallowed hard, his throat bobbing like he was trying to force down pride that no longer fit. "Fine," he whispered. I'll work." Serena shot up from her chair. "Leon, absolutely not. I'm not scrubbing anything. I refuse to." Camilla met her gaze steadily. "Then you're welcome to stay and explain everything to the authorities. They'll be here within 10 minutes if I make the call." Serena's lips trembled. Behind her, glamour and shine, fear cracked through. No, okay. I'll clean, whatever." Nora signaled one of the security staff, a broad-shouldered man named Dario, who stepped forward, not threateningly, but firmly. "Follow me," he said. Leon and Serena exchanged a miserable glance. Then, like two schoolchildren caught cheating, they followed Dario toward the back of the restaurant. The kitchen doors swung shut behind them. The dining room erupted into soft applause. A few customers even lifted their glasses toward Camilla. She offered a polite nod, nothing more, then turned back to her staff. "Everyone, thank you for handling this professionally," she said quietly. "Let's keep service running smoothly." But beneath her calm expression, something stirred, something like a quiet, rising warmth in her chest. Not triumph, not vengeance, something cleaner, something like freedom. Back in the kitchen, Leon's eyes widened at the sight of towering stacks of pans coated with baked-on sauces, plates with hardened food scraps, mixing bowls smeared with traces of dough and cream. Steam filled the air. The dishwasher roared in the corner. Serena gasped dramatically. "This is disgusting. I'm not touching any of this." Dario crossed his arms. "You don't get to choose the chores. You work until your balance is cleared." The head chef, a burly man named Matteo, pointed to a bucket and mop. "Gold dress. Floors are your territory. Don't make streaks." Serena stared at him as though he'd insulted her lineage. "Gold dress? Excuse you?" "Serena," Leon whispered through clenched teeth, "just do it." She muttered something under her breath and snatched the mop, nearly tripping in her heels. Leon, meanwhile, was handed a pair of rubber gloves and directed to the sink. Mateo clapped him on the back. "Start with those pans, and don't rush. If they're not clean, you're doing them again." Leon's eyes glazed with panic as he stared at the mountain of metal. "Camilla would not let you treat me like this," he snapped. Mateo raised a brow. "Buddy, she told us you're working off a bill. That means you're staff until you're done. Welcome to the back of house." Leon swallowed, picked up a sponge, and began scrubbing. Camilla stepped into the kitchen minutes later, her posture straight, her face unreadable. Steam curled around her like mist. She stood near the prep table, observing quietly. Serena was dragging the mop weakly across the tile, her arms shaking in frustration. Leon was elbow-deep in suds, scrubbing as though he were trying to erase the last 2 hours from existence. He looked up suddenly and locked eyes with Camilla. For the first time ever, not during their marriage, not during the divorce, not during the years of insults, she saw him without arrogance, without superiority, without that constant look of contempt he reserved especially for her. He looked small. "Camilla," he said softly, voice breaking. "Please, can we talk?" She stepped closer, but not too close. "We can talk when the bill is settled." "You're enjoying this," he accused, bitterness returning like an old habit. "Aren't you, seeing me like this?" She shook her head. "No, I don't enjoy seeing anyone humiliated, but consequences aren't revenge. You ordered a meal you couldn't pay for, Leon, and right now, you're paying." He looked down at his trembling hands. "I never thought you'd—" "Stand up for myself," she finished. "I didn't either, back then." He stopped scrubbing. The steam cloud blurred his face. "You were different then," he whispered. "I was quieter," she corrected. "Not weaker, just quiet." Serena groaned loudly from the corner. "Camilla, can I stop now? My feet are killing me." Camilla turned toward her. "You're halfway done. Once the floor is fully mopped, you can rest." Serena let out a dramatic sigh. "This is humiliating." "Sometimes humiliation is what teaches us," Camilla replied. "Sometimes it reveals us." She stepped back into the dining area, letting the kitchen staff handle the rest. But before the doors shut behind her, she caught one last glimpse of Leon staring at the dishwater, shoulders slumped, not in defeat, but in reflection. Hours passed. The ember room slowly emptied, chairs were reset, candles blown out. By midnight, service had wrapped. Camilla returned to the kitchen. Mateo nodded. "They're done." The pans gleamed, the floors sparkled. Leon and Serena stood near the walk-in cooler, exhausted and ashamed. Leon's shirt was soaked, his hair stuck to his forehead. Serena's mascara ran down her cheeks in faint streaks. Camilla approached them quietly. "Your bill is settled," she said. Leon straightened. "Camilla, I'm sorry. For everything." She studied his face, searching for sincerity. Maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. But she had learned long ago that his words were not her responsibility. "You don't owe me an apology," she said, "but you do owe yourself honesty." He blinked, confused. "You treated me like I was small," she continued, "but the truth is I didn't become stronger when you left. I was always strong. I just stopped letting you convince me otherwise." Leon lowered his gaze. Serena cleared her throat awkwardly. "So, can we go now?" "Yes," Camilla said. "You're free to go." Leon hesitated. "Camilla, really, I mean it, I'm sorry." She nodded once. "Good night, Leon." He turned away slowly, shoulders sinking. Serena followed him, limping slightly in her ruined heels. They disappeared through the back exit, swallowed by the dark alley outside. Camilla exhaled. The air felt lighter than it had in years. She walked back into the dining room, where the last candles flickered low. The chairs were lined up perfectly, the bar wiped clean, the scent of roasted peppers and warm bread lingering faintly in the air. This was her space, her creation, her victory. Not over Leon, but over who she used to be. She locked the doors, turned off the lights, and stepped into the night, finally free. If this story moved you, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Your support helps us bring more inspiring real-life stories your way. Thank you for watching. Until the next story, stay strong, stay hopeful, stay inspired.